Hello, heathens. Welcome to Girls Gone Godless, the podcast where we still love speaking in tongues, but only in a gay way. I'm Aaliyah.
I'm Christina.
And I'm Noe.
Today we have the pleasure of sitting down with a 6,666-ish-year-old extraterrestrial vampire space witch and fucking badass singer-songwriter, Candi Carpenter. Their story from being a fundamental pastor's kid in a family gospel band to a country music rising star to finding their way onto our For You page because of their deeply controversial songs about leaving religion and, of course, the shitheads in the current administration. Candy's evolution has been a wild ride, and we are so glad they are here sharing their story with us today.
In the beginning, God created cunt.
I gotta not fangirl too hard here.
Oh, we're all really excited, but Christina especially is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
It's
means
like-
so much. Thank you.
It was like Christmas Eve last night. I was like, I gotta sleep. I felt like it was like Rex Manning Day. It's Candi Carpenter Day.
Oh my God. Well, I am so honored. Thank you. That's me. That's so nice.
Well, we're so glad you're here.
We are.
Yeah. It's so funny. The way that I found you, we were preparing to interview Daniela, Knitting Cult Lady.
I love Daniela.
And so I was doing research and I pulled up her podcast and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this one. And then I heard you. And then I went to follow you and I realized I was already following you. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is them. And it was like, yeah, we have to get Candi on.
You know, I just love meeting other folks in this space. Like, for me, that was the whole point of writing Demonology, was to connect with other ex-vangelicals and other like-minded folks, really build community, because we don't have that church community now. I'm very glad that I don't. But like sitting in a pew on Sunday morning feeling like you're the only person in the room who isn't filled with the Holy Spirit is a very isolating and incredibly lonely feeling. And it is just so nice to know that we were not alone in those rooms. My dad was a Christian Missionary Alliance pastor. We had a family gospel band when I was a kid that used to tour the country and play a bunch of Midwestern churches. And I'm really weird. And I love dinosaurs because I'm autistic and
Oh, yeah.
ADHD and severely OCD. Probably other things going on too, but here I am, still alive.
I tried to look up a little bit about what Christian Missionary Alliance is. Is it just like a bunch of evangelical religions kind of meshed together, or?
Yeah, my dad always called it a denomination. I think it considers itself to be a denomination. One really troubling fact is the Children of God cult was started by a former Christian Missionary Alliance pastor. When I was a kid, we'd have a lot of strangers stay in the house. Missionaries we'd never met before would just come live with us for periods of time, which was, it didn't feel the safest to me as a kid. It was very strange. I lived right next to the church. The church was in my front yard. So it was like a big, giant playhouse. I have all these great memories of hanging out in the building, really doing anything but praying and worshiping, just kind of having a big clubhouse. But on Sundays, it got very different.
You brought up a really good point about the community aspect of the church. Like, we've interviewed probably 20 people at this point in the podcast. And one thing that we asked them is if there's anything that they miss from church. And that community aspect seems to be the biggest thing. And that's my experience too, is, having left the church, it's so much of your time and your identity is wrapped up in that once you leave, you are alone or you do feel alone. So I'm wondering what that experience was like for you, since you literally were across the street from the church. It seems like your family was really involved in church. I would think that your entire upbringing was like entwined. So I'm just wondering what your experience has been like with losing friends or family since you have left the church.
I've lost communities like a bunch of times. My dad decided not to be a pastor anymore when I was going into middle school, and we left that church. So we kind of lost that church community when a new pastor came in. And then we continued to tour with the family band whenever we could. And my dad would fill the pulpit at other churches. But as I got older and the band stopped performing as much because I was in Nashville working on my solo career as an artist when I was a teenager. I kind of started losing that family community a little bit too. And then my mom and dad moved me to Nashville full time when I was 15, took me out of school, wanted me to be a country singer. And gosh, that went about as well as you can imagine. A teenager without their parents living in another state really worked out well. I started going to Cross Point here in Nashville, Tennessee for a while. Ended up accidentally joining this other cult where this man said he could interpret our dreams.
Tell us about that.
Oh my God. Well, I met my ex-husband backstage at the Grand Ole Opry when I was 15 and he was 36. And when we got married, I found out I was his fourth wife. And I had a stepson my age. And he started taking me to
Holy shit.
to a church called The Resting Place. And I see Christmas from that church all the time on the Christian Nightmares meme account now. But I was told by someone at that church that if I were to leave my ex-husband, that I would go to hell because he wasn't abusive enough. So when I left that church, that's how I ended up in this little living room cult with the dream interpreter guy, because they were telling me I wouldn't go to hell. So, vulnerable people looking for community. That's what I wanted. I just wanted someone to tell me that I wasn't bad, because when you're married to a narcissist with a narcissist fan club around them, like for some reason, all these adults, his age and older, didn't believe me that something was wrong, even though they knew how young I was and how young I had been when we got together. So I lost the support when I left that. That in a way felt like a cult to me, a cult of personality with the people that he surrounded himself with. Being in my 30s now, reflecting back on that, the fact that he could look at me as a teen and want to wait for me until I was of age and to have those feelings for me when I was a child. I mean, it's just disgusting.
I know. I have a teenager now and I'm in my early 30s. And I look at my child, I'm like, that's still like a little baby. Like it just puts it into perspective how disgusting it is.
Yeah, every year it gets a little worse than you thought until it is just, you have to process it all over again. Like every time you have that realization, it reopens that wound.
It's so common, which is really just disgusting, but it's so normalized.
One of the hardest parts about all of this, my album Demonology, and meeting so many wonderful people in this community, is how many of us there are, how many of us were abused, how many of us were traumatized in similar ways, and just how common it is. I'm always like, I'm sorry to hear you relate. When someone likes my music, I know there's a story there every time.
Yeah.
And how much of it gets pushed under the rug and, poo-pooed off, and like that it was the time, or it was at this, or, back then, or what. And it's like, no, that shit keeps happening. Nobody gets in trouble for it. So they keep thinking it's okay. There's no consequences. And these churches are making tons of money. There's always people who are preying on people, which in turn, it just starts a cycle of, even when you leave the church, people still seem to find people who prey on them and were vulnerable. And like you said, it's like going from cult to cult, even if it's not a religious cult. It's, a cult of disgusting men who have no morals or don't respect boundaries and are just disgusting. I'm glad that you were able to get out of that.
Oh, thank you. The way that these churches protect these men, or individuals in general, doing hideous and heinous things, because you'll hear someone from the church vouch for that person just because they go to church with them. Just, that's a man of God. That's a person of God. And it allows anybody to get away with anything because Jesus will forgive them. God will forgive them. The church will forgive them. It's like, unless a woman or a queer person, someone who is non-male, if someone who is non-male does something, it'll haunt them forever. But if a man does it, it's, as we heard so much the first time Trump was running for president, boys will be boys.
Yes. Locker room talk and all that shit.
I mean, every church I know has sexual abuse cover-ups, but like specifically the Mormon church, I don't know if you've heard that they would tell their bishops not to even report it to the authorities. Like they would just flat out tell them like, no, like that's not a thing that we do.
Yeah, no, there's never been a separation of church and state. That's always been a fallacy.
So did your parents ever move to Nashville, or you were in Nashville by yourself?
I was in Nashville by myself.
Okay. Because I think I did read a little bit about your manager, who was another person that took advantage of you and exploited you.
Anyone who wants to essentially kidnap a child to try to make them a star is going to be a real piece of shit. And she was. I've had an interesting experience of my first abuser outside of religious trauma and the imaginary deity that we worshipped. My first physical abuser was a woman, and sadly, not my last, but I've learned that people can do truly awful things.
You were still a believer at this time, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Very much so. I started deconstructing in my late 20s. I was performing so many mental gymnastics to stay in. I was just so afraid of going to hell. That's the best marketing tactic the church has going for it, is that you're going to get punished even more if you'd heard the gospel and left.
And so your denomination was kind of like Children of God, where they're preparing for end times at all times, correct?
It was very different from Children of God. There wasn't one figurehead doing horrible things to children, but we were absolutely preparing for the end times. The rapture was definitely going to happen. The end times were going to happen any day. I was so scared to death of all of this. I mean, I expected to look out my window and see the whore of Babylon riding down the street on a 7-headed beast, and hear a trumpet sounding. I was so scared of the sound of trumpets. It's always rapture.
Sad they teach kids this. It sets you up for such major anxiety and intrusive thoughts. It's horrible.
Well, I wonder if that has contributed to your OCD, because I know that you mentioned that is something that you have. That's something that I struggle with as well. And I also grew up in a culture that was very much like the rapture's on its way. You got to be perfect. You have to be sinless when God comes back, or else you're not going to get taken up. You're going to get left behind. The earth's going to be fire and brimstone and wars. And you grow up terrified and have this fear that you just have to be perfect. I am sure that has contributed to my mental struggles.
Sure. Scrupulosity. Yeah, it's a type of OCD. I think I am definitely bent in multiple OCD directions. It's not just scrupulosity for me, but I remember my dad talking about how there were always angels and demons all around us at all times fighting an invisible battle we couldn't see, and they were swinging their swords. And I would imagine, I'd be like, oh my God, what if an invisible sword just cut me in half right now? What if it just went right through me? After being told that I would go to hell for leaving my ex-husband and then choosing hell because I left him, I probably recommitted my life to Christ 1,000 times in that year. I was rebaptized at Cross Point. And when I came up out of the water, they'll show all these videos and there are people just sobbing. When I came up out of the water, I didn't want to cry. And I was so stressed about it that I pretended to, because I didn't want anyone to see me come up out with just a neutral expression on my face. I still couldn't admit that I felt nothing but wet. I did feel wet and cold after my second baptism.
I was going to say, not even the good kind of wet.
Right. Yeah, not the good wet. I feel like baptism sounds like a sensory nightmare.
No, it absolutely is a sensory nightmare. Wet clothes for the rest of the day. Cool.
Right. I heard on an interview where you said that you every week would beg Jesus, don't come back this week because I want to love you more, and I want another week to love you or to worship you and to do right by you. And then the next Sunday would come and you would say the same thing, please don't come back right now, because it was never enough. And Aaliyah has talked about that too, where it's she just never felt like she was good enough and, wanted to make sure that she was doing everything right before Jesus came back.
And then we get to carry that forward into everything, into all of our relationships and our interactions, into our careers, into the workplace, into everything we ever do. It's never enough. Absolutely, Christina. I would pray and beg God not to come back because I wanted to go to church again on Sunday. I would be please just give me one more day to worship you at church on Sunday with all the people I love. And then after the church service, I'd be wow, Holy Spirit, that was so amazing. Thank you so much. Please don't come back again until next Sunday because I want to do this again. And it's I knew I wasn't telling the truth. Then you'd get this sickness in your stomach, well, maybe I didn't fool him well enough this time. I don't know if that was convincing enough. So then you'd pray again and you'd try to be more earnest and sincere. I mean, it's just the silence you hear in your brain when you first stop talking to Jesus all the time, when you first realize you're just talking to yourself, is kind of unbearable. You kind of don't know what to do. You still have the habit of prayer and you're still talking to yourself in your head saying, please forgive me. But you realize that you're just talking to the wind, talking to yourself. I believe something. I believe there's, I believe in energy. I believe you can't create or destroy energy. It's the first law of thermodynamics. And that in and of itself, just the fact that energy exists is magical. It's hard to separate magical thinking from science when you really dig into science, and it's cool. I mean,
Yeah. It is crazy. It's really
what's
crazy.
going on with the double slit experiment? That's pretty insane. That seems kind of magical.
And why can't that be good enough? Like, why can't
Yeah.
that be good enough for everybody? All the amazing things
Right.
that we have.
You can't control people when you're just enjoying the world together.
Yeah.
You took the thought right out of my mind.
It's hard to say how many people are really out there ruining it for the rest of us. I don't know. But I know a lot of the people that are still in the church, the people that I knew, they're scared. When I think about how many people I tried to witness to, I mean, that's the most horrifying and embarrassing thing. Realizing that I allowed myself to be a puppet. I allowed myself to be an agent of chaos, trying to manipulate people for the gain of the few.
I love how in your song, Everybody Goes to Hell, where you do the monologue, you're, like apologizing to your friend for trying to convert her and apologizing to other people that you feel that you hurt along the way. That was very touching.
But everybody goes to hell in somebody else's religion.
I just want to take a moment to apologize to anyone I might have hurt and to anyone I tried to convert, either successfully or unsuccessfully. To my best friend Justine, I'm really sorry about that time I called you in the middle of the night and I begged you to accept Jesus as your savior so you wouldn't go to hell. That was really shitty. And to my mom and dad, I love you.
I saw Justine yesterday, actually. She's the friend I called. I had just seen a billboard of the 10 Commandments, which is a lot more common in Tennessee than you might think. I had just been told by a pastor, well, all anyone has to do is pray the prayer and they're in, right? So then I'm like, please just do it. And it was coming from a place of genuine love for her. I did not want her to burn for eternity. I hadn't done the deconstruction work to understand that any God that would allow that to happen to someone whose only sin was just not being able to believe something they couldn't see. They're going to burn people alive forever. That sounds like the devil, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That sounds like Satan. Yeah. And then blaming it all on us. It's just, I can't do it. I don't yet know exactly how to reconcile making space for people who haven't found their way out of it, who are still causing that harm. And it's so easy for us to forgive each other. We know why we were out there witnessing. We know why we were doing it. And we're very clearly all trying to do the work to undo that damage, to reach out to other people who need that community. I feel like I have to do that. I feel like that's the only way to make up for dragging so many people to church. In elementary school, they would give away Beanie Babies at VBS. So you'd go up to the kids and be like, you like Beanie Babies? You can get a Beanie Baby if you come to VBS with me. You learn everybody gets a Beanie Baby. Everyone at VBS.
For those that don't know,
Oh my
VBS
gosh.
is Vacation Bible School.
Yeah. Vacation Bible School. It's the only place where you can eat Oreos dipped in Kool-Aid and watch handmade puppet shows, most likely put on by your parents or an elderly church lady who probably brought the Oreos and the Kool-Aid to the musty, wet, damp basement that you're sitting in. Yeah. Vacation Bible School. A great time.
Aaliyah's Bible vacation camp sounded really cool.
No, okay, so that was church camp. That was separate. Vacation Bible School was at church during the summertime, and the church that I grew up in would set up little tents, but they were the style of like an ancient Hebrew village. So they would have different little tent booths for these different village things. Like there was a place where you could make a leather thing, and there was a place where you could, I don't know, put the beads on the bracelet, and each bead meant something about Jesus and salvation and like whatever the fuck else. But it was cool. But yeah, it's indoctrinating children, and that's not cool. Like that's fuckery. That's fucked. We don't like that. We don't tolerate that around here.
I'm glad you're able to find the good memories in the mix, though. I'm not really able to do that. And maybe it's because my mom and dad were like running the church programs that were indoctrinating the children that I feel particularly weird about it. But I'm glad you've been able to glean some of that good from there, something positive.
to pay for it, right?
I don't remember paying for Vacation Bible School. I think the church
Oh,
does, but camp is separate. Yeah, camp is you go away and you stay the night. Vacation Bible School is like a week-long thing during the summertime. You get dropped off for the day and like picked up at the end. That was my experience, at least.
VBS is basically just advertising for new church members. So much of VBS is about asking the kids to invite their friends to VBS to get new families into the church. I mean, I sat in on strategy meetings about that with my family.
Tell us about that.
I remember a birthday party in kindergarten. It was my birthday party. It was in the basement of the church. And I invited my whole class. And the whole point of that was my mom led everyone in a prayer to accept Christ as their savior at the birthday party. And I remember school was never the same for me after that. Like, people freak zoned me for sure. They would have anyway, but that did not help me socially for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thought that I have is like, why would God need marketing strategy meetings? My thought would be that the marketing strategy would be like God just, solved world hunger and then
Right.
everyone would turn
Yeah.
to him, right? So why do we need marketing strategy for church if it's a God thing? You know what I mean? I don't
free
know. These are
will.
just my thoughts. These are my
Isn't
thoughts.
free will the answer for everything when you ask a question? It's either have faith or it's because we have free will. I think that's just like the blanket statement.
Ironically, I'm pretty sure that if somebody showed up and solved world hunger, the evangelical church would start screaming Antichrist about that person.
100%. Yeah. And why doesn't God just show up? Like, just show yourself one time. Let everyone
Show
know
yourself.
you're real. Like, he's
Reveal
the worst
yourself to
communicator. It makes
me.
Yeah.
no sense that we're expected to believe in this thing that we can't see. Otherwise, we'll be tortured for all eternity.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense at all. It's almost like it makes no sense.
It's almost like it's made up.
Yeah.
Could it be?
I was
No.
listening to something the other day, and it was like a great point. Like, most modern Christians don't even follow Jesus. They follow Paul, who never met Jesus. And then the biggest thing for me, I made a TikTok about this recently. I think I'm going to make another one because this drives me crazy, that Jesus' name wasn't Jesus, it was Yeshua. And nobody talks about that. Nobody just, it's his name. Why do we need an English translation for somebody's name? That's problematic. I mean, come on, just call it. So who's Jesus? Who's that guy? I've heard so many evangelical Christians cry demon about so many things, yet they're not referring to the deity they worship by his name. And just the hypocrisy, like, I don't believe that they're actually worshiping a demon. I don't
Right.
cry demon every time something happens. I don't believe in that personally at all. But that just really is so strange, right? And if you bring that up to the average evangelical Christian, because I've done it a few times when it was really socially unacceptable to do so, just for my own entertainment at gatherings, it freaks them out. So we need to start mentioning that more because they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, that's a good point. They don't know what to do with a lot of it.
That's true.
honestly.
No, but they don't know what to do with the hypocrisy between the teachings of Jesus and the teachings of Paul, because that really breaks their brains quite a bit, because Paul is the one who said basically the Old Testament laws don't matter anymore. But Jesus is the one that said that he came to fulfill the law. So which one is the truth? Because if you're going to say that we're going to throw out all the Old Testament laws, then that means it's okay to be gay. But then if you're going to say that Paul was wrong, then we're throwing out a lot of other things that should also be thrown out. So like, what are we doing here? Like, let's be consistent for once.
If only more people ask themselves, what are we doing here?
On the demon thing, because of my research on you, I ended up on CUNTry side of TikTok. And I don't know if you've seen the whole Zach Brown band thing with his Vegas show. He's in that sphere.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't know.
He has skeletons and stuff in his show, and now the whole Christian country world has turned their back on him and say that he's satanic and has gone to the dark side.
He's always had stuff like that in his studio. Yeah,
Yeah, but these ones are red, so
These are, they're red
devil.
and they're clawing at you and they're very big and scary. And he was wearing like a crown of thorns, it looked like. And
Grow
so
up.
they're like, he's lost, he's gone. What happened to Mr. Chicken Fried on a Friday night or whatever? And now he's
Oh,
lost
that's
to the
him.
Hollywood demonic elite. So if you haven't seen it, it's pretty funny to watch them completely fucking losing their mind.
Interesting though that like they'll wear a crucifix around their neck and they'll eat the body of a dead guy and drink the
Yeah.
blood, and then they won't let their kids trick or treat or like watch a movie that has witchcraft in it. It's like your whole book is full of
It's
creepy stuff. That's worse. I don't understand.
My whole family's pretty pissed at me for my song American God. And it's not really because of the song. It's because I said full of conservatives, ew. Like that's what
That's the part that got
that's
them.
the part that really upset them. And then I crucified myself in the music video on a telephone pole. And I was
love
wearing
that.
I was wearing an American flag loincloth and a Burger King crown. And I was like, I'm pretty sure Jesus wasn't American. Plus, I'm clearly not doing I was like, do you think that Jesus was the only person, Yeshua was the only person to be crucified on a Roman cross? One of
Right, he was the only one
one
that
of
mattered.
many people. Yeah,
He was crucified with 2 other people on either side, allegedly, supposedly.
yeah, I wasn't even wearing a crown of thorns. So how does anybody know? I was doing the Burger King very
Right.
clearly.
And it was a telephone pole. They didn't even have telephones back then. Hello?
You know what I should have said? Just have it your way. My aunt sent me in response just so many text messages, all in caps, of course, just like paragraphs, upset with me. And then, and I made a lot of these points to her. And then she responded by sending me a video of Charlie Kirk. And she was like, you need to watch this. This will help you. And I'm going, oh my God. So it's tough. It's just heartbreaking because you hate to see somebody that you love that far gone. And I used to be so afraid of how people would react to me for saying these things, and I'm just over that. I mean, have
Yeah.
been for a long time, but I don't know what to say, honestly. I go round and round with this stuff. It's just disappointing. It sucks. It's good for us to get together and just remind each other we're not crazy. Well, we are, but this is one way we're not crazy. That's nice.
Did the deconstruction from Christianity and being a conservative or raised by conservatives happen at the same time?
I voted for Obama. I think I was able to deconstruct my conservative upbringing before my religious upbringing because my mom and dad were always more moderate for Republicans
Right.
because they were single issue voters. They made their decisions about who they voted on specifically because of abortion and really not much else. And they still do that. And I've argued every point that I can. I remember growing up, telling my dad when I was 4 that I wanted to be a pastor, having him tell me I couldn't because I was a girl, hearing that, being gay, I'd never heard the word queer, but being gay was just wrong. I didn't have any non-binary representation to know that was an option or to really know any of the things that I was feeling were normal or not demonic influence, that it wasn't demonic possession. I just had no idea how to be. So a lot of the evangelical ideals were just Christian carryover. But when you go to public school and you meet lots of different kinds of kids and you become friends with lots of different types of people and you make your first gay friend, it's pretty hard to believe that they're doing anything wrong because they're not. And so just that exposure, that's why I think representation is so important. That's why it's so important for us to use our voices. We may falter sometimes and not always get it right and be in search of those words, but there's power in us talking.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Did you have like a specific moment where you started to deconstruct?
Well, in starting to learn more about myself and just getting older, not being able to perform the mental gymnastics necessary to believe that my gay friends were not deserving of God's love and acceptance was such a major factor. It's like, well, if I have love for people who are just loving other people, why can't God? That's weird. Why does God care so much about people's private parts and what those private parts are up to? What is he doing? That's
Right.
bizarre. What is this guy's problem? Why is this guy a perv? And then I did mushrooms in my yard and it rewired everything.
We keep hearing this.
Yeah. You do mushrooms and you're just like, oh, God damn it. This is all fake. Fuck.
Right. You're like, there's something connecting us here, but it is not Jesus.
No.
Right.
Everybody I know that's come back from mushrooms has been like, yes, this is definitely a simulation.
Right.
I always relate deconstruction or realizing it's bullshit, whatever you want to call it. For me, there's either a light switch moment or it's like a sunrise. So either the switch flips and all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is a scam and this is fake. Or there's like a slow, gradual progression of you being shown the light. So to me, it almost sounds like maybe you had the sunrise type of thing where, you are deconstructing the gay parts of church and their view, not the gay parts of church. I wish there were gay parts of church. Deconstructing the church's
church would be a
views
lot
on-
cooler.
That would be my kind of church, would be gay church. You can be gay.
A lot
There's
of it is
therapy.
kinda
There's
gay.
shrooms.
Think
No, the
about it.
foreskins of it all.
The foreskins of it all,
yeah,
the pageantry.
It could be cool. But yeah, so for me, I had a faith crisis. And so that was my light switch of like, oh shit, like now I can't, I'm done. There's no going back. It's over. The lights are on. I gotta go. But it sounds like for you, it was the church's view on homosexuality and then kind of hearing about with your parents and abortion and their views on that. Like, what were some other things that kind of led to you realizing it's all a sham?
Definitely sunrise, 2 light switch, 2 mushrooms light switch, where everything clicked into place at once. When I was in the living room call with the dream interpreter guy, we studied a Greek concordant literal translation of the New Testament. And one of the biggest things that helped me deconstruct and leave the church was just simply reading the Bible. If you read the Bible too much,
That'll do it.
if you read the Bible too many times, math isn't mathing.
We hear that a lot on here.
One day, and we were talking about all the different translations of the Bible, and I'm like, this is supposed to be the infallible word of God that can't be altered or changed. It's God's word. So why are there so many translations that say slightly different things? That shouldn't be possible. Like, people should be struck down before they're able to publish mistranslations of God's word. Like, those people should all be getting hit with lightning then. That shouldn't be possible.
And even if it was God's word, like the slavery, the genocide, I don't want nothing to do with him, even if he is real, because
no, there's some interesting stuff in Gnosticism. The concept being that the God of the Bible is the actual biblical devil, so to speak. Yaldabaoth is what he's called in Gnosticism. And he is trapping us here, keeping us away from the actual light of the love of God. It's interesting, like the Bible says that the enemy will present itself as an angel of light. And I think it's like kind of telling on itself.
Sounds more believable to me than any
That
of
makes
the
more
stuff in
sense,
there.
honestly.
Yeah, it's like disconnecting you from yourself, your own morals and beliefs. Like, don't trust your own authority.
The Bible's basically just fan fiction of so many other religions that came up with it first. But yeah, that interesting concept that there is this dark force and that it is the God of the Bible is fascinating. And that he's that dark force running things.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Gnosticism. If you ever want to chat about Gnosticism, I'm so down.
What do you think is the most ridiculous Bible verse? Do you have one that sticks out that you're just like, that's so fucking stupid?
Oh, my favorite messed up Bible verse is Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness and make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So he's creating evil. He creates evil, he says. So he is to blame. He's admitting it. Yeah.
He's the problem.
Says it right there.
Yeah, thanks. So when people are like, why do children die?
Because God.
Well, that would be God. Yeah.
God's
he says
plan.
so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, God's plan.
Right.
Yeah, God's
I love
plan
when
to
they're like,
torture kids.
this is metaphorical only when they want it to be. I can't fucking stand that.
Also, look, okay, let's get down to it, right? If the evangelical church believes that abortion is evil, well, guess who came up with it then? The guy that created evil, their God.
Yeah. God loves killing babies. He loves
Yeah. Oh,
it.
he loves killing a baby. He does.
If it's so bad, then why did he give us the recipe for how to do the abortion in the book, where it says to mix the water with the clay in the jar in the temple, have the priest bless it, and give it to the woman? He told us, he gave
Right.
us the recipe for the abortion.
And is
It's
that not
basically,
like
it's
witchy
basically
witchcraft?
misoprostol.
We could do like holiday recipes. God's recipe for abortion.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Something that I was thinking when you were talking about all the different translations of the Bible, and this was a point that like I hadn't thought about in my 10 years of deconstruction, but I saw somebody on TikTok recently say that if God wanted us to have the most accurate version of the Bible, why didn't he have Jesus write it when he was here on earth?
Oh, that's the best point I've ever heard. Oh my God. Or a disciple write it about him while he was there too and not like later. Like having biographer, sure. Have a social media guy, Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, not
like,
even
what were
that,
they
was
thinking?
just the man himself. He was here, right?
Yeah, he could've-
if
yeah.
Jesus is God,
Jesus just
and
needed
Jesus-
to write, I was here.
yeah, like why not just
Yeah.
have you yourself, if you are the physical manifestation of God, then just write the Bible while you were here.
And why aren't
Right.
there any pictures of him?
That's the
That's what
biggest
I'm
thing.
saying.
This is a joke. That's just a joke. I just said that so that like somebody will stop watching there and then go in your comments and just rip me apart because I enjoy
Good.
that now. I love
love
getting
it.
insulted online.
Honestly,
yeah.
that's what we're like all the time. So I
Yep.
think our listeners know that we just shit talk
Good.
and sometimes make no sense because it doesn't make sense. Why do I have to form a logical, coherent argument against your illogical, incoherent belief? You're not even
Oh my
trying
God.
to make it make sense. I'm not going to put effort into an argument to disprove something that's clearly fucking stupid.
It is exhausting. I'm making my music about this stuff. The more people say crazy things to me in my comments, as you know, the more my content thrives. So, what are some things I can say?
Give us
I
all the
don't know.
controversies.
Yeah, do you want a controversy? All right, let me drop a
Mhm.
big one right now. Fuck, I don't have anything right now. I'm so boring.
Here's my latest hot take is that God is a
Yeah.
bad dad, and he's not somebody
Oh,
that I
yeah.
would want to have as like a partner in parenting.
No, he's a bum baby daddy.
He's an absentee father.
He's a deadbeat. He doesn't pay child support.
He tried to kill his son. Well, he did kill his son.
He killed his son and he gets praised for it. You want to talk about no consequences? That was the ultimate. After that, men were like, fuck. I mean, God could sacrifice his son. We never have to face consequences for anything that we do.
And he created the world and then he destroyed it and then he recreated again. Like, you made these plants and these animals and you're telling me that they also had to get destroyed? Really?
But the fact that we're just products of incest just repeatedly too. And I mean, you got Adam and Eve. And then how were there more?
Right.
Who were the sons?
They don't want to talk about that,
They
though.
don't.
You bring that up and they're like,
But then it's Noah and his family. So it's 2.0. And I think about an immortal God and how compared to an immortal God, I mean, we're infinitesimally small. We're not even fetuses. We're not even a thought. We're so much younger than babies. And we are
Right.
expected to get it all figured out in this teeny tiny amount of time, regardless of what our circumstances were like growing up. Like, how sadistic would an entity have to be to do that? Is worse than a little boy setting an anthill on fire with a magnifying glass.
we had a guest that called him Sid from Toy Story. Like, that's pretty much.
Awful. And and just like the enjoyment that he gets out of manipulating these human lives in such
Right.
grotesque ways. Ugh, yeah, send me to hell. Let's go.
Had a dream I died and went to heaven. It was full of conservatives, ew. They were drinking the grape juice out of little thimble cups. They were driving their Teslas on the moon. I had a dream I died and went to hell. It was fun, it was light, it was free. The little demons were dancing to a secular beat. It was hot, but not too hot for me. I fell from heaven. It didn't hurt. I pledge, fuck you to the American God. I am my own church.
I keep hearing that my song American God is supposed to be so controversial. And I'm like, I don't understand. like maybe I'm too far gone now.
Really? Have you read the Bible? Because that's really controversial.
I feel like I'm just saying some things that are very obvious about our country and its primary religion. I don't feel
You're
like
not wrong.
anything I'm saying should be controversial.
I showed your video to my kids and they loved it. So if that says anything about me or what kind of mother I am.
I taught the dance to a 5-year-old.
Oh
But we used pointer fingers only, not middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, if you don't want your child flipping people off, I support you.
Understandable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want my child reading the Bible. That's what I know.
I don't either. No. Mm-mm.
So Aaliyah asked if you had lost people in the church, but from your country music days, how was that?
I mean, yeah, like I lost thousands of followers when I posted about the insurrection. And I don't like to talk about it too much because honestly, I don't feel like I should get a round of applause for doing the right thing.
Right.
Basically, I left country music because I couldn't support the values that the audience made very clear that they seemed to support, the ideals they seemed to support. I had been fortunate to work with a lot of liberal people in country, but it was a much smaller community than I realized because I didn't work with people outside of that liberal bubble that I was in country. And
Right.
a lot of us left.
Probably similar to church, right? Where there's
Yeah.
people who are pretending to be more conservative than they really are in their real life.
Oh, yeah. And I still had all those nerves, about speaking up because I had been indoctrinated to keep my mouth shut from the time I was born. So really like learning that the opinions of people who have bad opinions and bad takes on things should not matter to me was the most freeing thing in the world, to just be like, actually don't give a shit at all that you disagree with me because you are just wrong about what you think.
Right.
This isn't an opinion. You don't get to have an opinion about anyone's race, gender, sexuality, or anything.
Right. It makes me think of that Rick and Morty quote where it's like, your boos mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Oh,
That quote. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so when I left country, I did lose a lot of people, but like it did not feel like a loss. It felt like a major win. Not everyone I was working with agreed with me. And you just have to decide that, like when you're a kid and you're in school and you start learning about atrocities being committed, you think, well, if I were alive, then I would have done the right thing. And when you're presented with the opportunity to see what kind of person you really are and whether or not you want to do the right thing, I felt like being able to look in the mirror was a lot more important than releasing another drinking song,
Right.
So
We appreciate that because now we have you in our world.
Yeah. And your fans now, I'm sure, are much more genuine people that you connect with on a real deep level versus this kind of surface level that you had to be before. So that's pretty cool.
Well, I wasn't listening to mainstream country at all. Like I was trying to be somebody that was making it something different, making a new thing. That's the way I was approaching it. And people did not like what I was doing because it was like a kind of Southern Gothic thing. And at the time, especially back then, like people thought that was creepy as hell. And they were correct by their standards,
Right.
They were right. They read me right. But this was a genre that my parents chose for me. When I was a child, I was a champion yodeler. And basically they gave me
I've never heard yodeling before. What does that sound like? Can you please show me right now?
I think you're lying. I think you have heard yodel.
Okay, but maybe I just like it. Maybe it's that.
Yodelay. I mean, this is sort of what it is. And
I love it.
Thank you.
oh god,
That is pretty fucking rad.
well, it gets me nothing. It's a party trick nobody usually does want you to break out.
I want it all.
It's good.
Well, sometime then I'll come yodel at you and we'll see how long.
Please, anytime.
You can handle it.
Yeah.
You can yodel here.
I'll yodel in your. I'll send a yodel in your direction. God. My mom and dad were basically like, you have to either go into gospel music or country music because country music is, as they would say, quote, the most wholesome family genre of music. I wasn't really allowed to listen to secular music. Yeah. I wasn't allowed to listen to anything that my friends would have thought was cool. So I chose country because I thought that was the most rebellious option. And then, I'm looking back at my life when I was making this decision. I kind of thought I was quitting music when I left. I started writing Demonology to heal because I was just kind of sick of the music industry. The music industry stole a lot from me. It stole my childhood. It stole my 20s. It's its own cult in a way. And it wasn't even a choice I made for myself as an adult to be an artist. That was something that was decided for me. And then it's like, I'm still doing it because I didn't want to fail. That's why I'm still doing this. I wanted to succeed at the thing.
Sounds a lot like Christianity.
Right? About it never being enough. I mean, I played the Grand Ole Opry. A lot of people would have called that winning. And for me, it's like, no, I've got to be the biggest country star. And it's like, are you going to really thrive in a genre you don't listen to as a fan?
Right.
I'm from Michigan. What do I know about a tractor? I know there are farming communities in Michigan, but I'm from Lansing, Michigan. I don't
What
know.
do I know about a tractor? I feel like that's an episode title.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
What the fuck is a tractor?
I kill every plant that is in my home, and I have to get fake plants.
That's okay.
I feel you there.
You're a great yodeler. You can't do it all.
You can't do it all. It wouldn't be fair to the rest of us, you know?
Yeah, I can keep plants alive, but I can't fucking yodel.
Oh, I
so
love that.
to be fair, I bet a lot of country artists just pose on tractors. They're fake.
Maybe.
They don't really know tractors. Yeah, if you haven't been on a moving tractor, you can't be a country music star. That's like
I've been
that's the bar.
in a haunted hayride pulled by a tractor.
No. I need you like
Okay.
in the front seat of the tractor.
Driving with a piece of hay in your mouth.
With overalls and nothing else on underneath the overalls.
That's the vibe.
The only country that we like is the gay country. Like
Oh,
the,
yeah. Like Adam
the
Mack.
gay country songs. Yes.
Adam Mack rocks.
The real like folksy kind of socialist punk kind of stuff, which to me, I feel like that is what country should have been or was started with. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I can get down with that, like the fiddles and bluegrassy
Well, for me,
kind
it's
of stuff.
Beyonce.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there would be no country music without all of the contributions from Black musicians that were stolen and appropriated.
Thank you.
Period. It's the truth. Beyonce is a country singer. I mean, she's so much more. I mean, really just kind of the queen of music, maybe the entire world. But she has more right than anyone to declare that she's a Southern girl. She's a country singer.
She's
yeah.
from Texas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No.
She's from Texas.
This is for real. Like, I just couldn't with Nashville. I know some people in Nashville who are really earnestly wanting it to be different. I'm not saying that there are not people here who care and who are in it for the right reasons, but I just saw too much. I actually moved outside of Nashville a little bit because I don't feel creatively inspired. I moved about an hour out of town and really just, I don't want to just sit here and shit on everything. I guess we're on a cult podcast and
you shit on everything here.
America's a cult and its history is rewritten.
We shit on God
That's
all
what we
day over
do.
here.
I mean, we're on stolen land and what the fuck? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how you can, like, again, if you, like we were talking about earlier, if you're not exposed to anybody but people who look and think just like you, how do you deconstruct? The onus to educate yourself and learn about the world around you is on each and every individual. We have to just fucking care about other people's experience. There's so much that's inherently selfish about just staying so focused on the one thing you learned growing up. And I think it's just fear, right? It all comes down to fear. All the hurt and the harm. Fear.
Which is crazy because the whole faith over fear people are the most fearful people.
Oh my God.
Like, they're scared of fucking
We're
everything.
afraid and you should be afraid too.
Yeah, I'm scared of big
Yeah.
cities and
Yeah.
electric cars.
And college is going to make me gay.
Oh, send me to college.
It's just so fucking ridiculous. The fact that we've had however many guests on here who have had similar experiences, with the same kind of thing. And it's like, you don't see the pattern here that your religion is causing trauma to people that they're carrying through their entire adult life. And you can't stop and think like, oh, maybe this is harmful. Like, are you
Yeah.
fucking kidding me? It's like, no, just give us your money. It's fine.
Give us your cash.
I don't even know if I've told this story. I'm going to kind of blur it a little just so I don't embarrass someone that I love, but someone I know who would preach very heavily against, quote, living the homosexual lifestyle, is someone who I discovered tons of gay porn on their computer. That's why it's like anytime anybody is just coming out against a community, I'm like, I'm so excited for J.K. Rowling to finally come out as trans, because she is so upset with trans
who
people.
Is that dude? Never heard of him.
Right. No, I think that J.K. Rowling is so buried in her own bullshit and hatred. I don't see that actually happening. But those screaming the loudest are either closeted or worried that they might be the thing that they're so against. I mean,
right. Why does it fire them up so much? It's igniting something in them.
Definitely.
Turning something on. You wouldn't care.
Over and over again, I've discovered that whoever is speaking the loudest is hiding a skeleton.
That's why they're always crashing Grindr with their Republican conventions.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've caught like 187 religious child predators this year alone. Like,
oh, that's it?
that they've caught that have been like prosecuted or arrested. And it's always the loudest ones, like against, drag queen story hour and all that kind of stuff. And then it turns out that they're fucking pedophiles.
Well, it's like, look at them, not at me. Look at them, not at me. And it's so hard to know what to do, because it's so hard to take this stuff seriously because it is so ridiculous, but we have to take it seriously because it is hurting, harming, and even killing people. It just shouldn't be this hard to convince people that a guy they can't see isn't standing there.
Right.
I don't know. What do we do?
I don't know.
This podcast is the only reason I go on.
Not your children?
Oh, no, not them. No, just kidding. No, but it's just like, what the fuck? That's why we need it. We need the comic relief. Like, just what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I don't know. I spend a lot of my time talking about it, meeting other people who want to talk about it, and I get so scrambled because I don't know. I think the thing that I hear repeated the most in these situations is, I don't know what's going on. It's crazy.
You heard it here first, folks. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
We don't know what's going on.
We don't know
right.
We don't know.
But you're writing the soundtrack, and that's all we need.
Right.
So are you writing more music right now? Do you have more stuff coming out?
So here's what I'm working on. I am trying to figure out what I need to hear right now, because I've found that the awesome folks that find my music and that listen to it, like, we're all pretty similar humans in the way that we see the world and interact with it. And we're all bummed out.
Thanks, God.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, Dad. It's not just a phase. I started a song with Alden Witt, who I wrote all of Demonology with. And it was depressing. And my favorite line in it was, I'm just another Muppet puppet getting fucked by a hand. And I did like that line. And I do like what we were writing, but I'm like, I'm not going to put that on because that is going to make me so sad. I'm already feeling terrible. Like you said, this podcast, Christina, is why you keep going. I want to support our community. Like, we've found each other. People can look at my discography and get a pretty good idea of who I am and what I believe and what I stand for. And also at this point, there's no going back for me because I've said a lot of stuff online.
Right.
But
yeah, we're forever etched into the internet, so no takesies backsies for us.
Yeah, and like, I want to be an artist who is a safe space for people. Like, I want people to know what they're getting. It's always so disappointing to invest in an artist and fall in love with their music and then find out that they suck and they're a shit person and not somebody you'd want to be friends with. I'm trying to figure out how to stay true to myself and talk about the things that I need to say, and also like give us a record that like we could put on if we're not having the best day and we don't want to make it worse.
Right.
I don't know yet. Yeah. And I'm trying.
May I suggest yodeling? Could you incorporate yodeling?
Yeah, I could.
Like, just
I can do a lot of things.
Make it demonish. I don't know.
Demon yodeling? That would be awesome.
Candi Carpenter, the demon yodeler. I feel like that's already Zach Bryan. Wait, is it Zach Bryan? Which Zach is it? Zach Brown.
Zach Brown. Yeah.
All the Zachs. Luke Bryan, Zach Bryan, Luke Combs, Zach
they all
Brown.
Look the same. I don't know these men.
I literally I have no idea.
I did a thing once. It was like a drinking game, and it was like every time the male country artist has on a gold chain, a t-shirt, and a flat brim baseball cap in his profile picture, take a drink. And like, we couldn't keep playing because
No,
everybody was
die.
getting so
You
fucked
would
up.
die.
You would die of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. And then the names kind of all start, and and you're like, so it is a simulation. I haven't been able to fuck with Rick and Morty for a long time. Just
Yeah.
after everything I discovered about it. But before I stopped watching it, I remember an episode where Jerry's in a simulation and they need to put the radio on for him, and they're like, human music.
Right.
He's like, wow, human music. I like it. Yeah, that's how it's starting to feel on the radio to me.
Right.
Right.
Have you ever thought of doing another country song, but just making it like a total parody? Have you ever done anything like that?
Oh, we'll see.
Okay.
I've got some weird stuff going on right now.
Cool. We love weird stuff.
You know what? You wanted a controversy. I don't have a controversy for you, really, I guess. I don't know. Okay, an announcement for you then that I haven't told anyone. Okay, I love the show I Think You Should Leave. I covered Friday night from the show, but I am also covering The Bones Are the Skeletons, Money, So Are the Worms. That one from I Think You Should Leave with my friend's bluegrass band in a couple weeks, and we're going to release that. That'll be fun.
Exclusive. You heard it here first.
I love him. I'm watching the
Chair Company.
The Chair Company right now.
Don't get me started on Tim Robbins. I will derail this conversation. I've had some interviews where like 45 minutes of me just quoting the show or like doing a bit from the show. And I think my publicist would prefer if I didn't continue to do that. Have you gotten to the lady that's like laying on the boxes and she's got a fistful of popcorn and she's like, popcorn?
Yes. Yes.
I feel like she's me because I eat a bag of AMC movie theater butter pourable topping microwavable popcorn every day.
I support this.
I don't think that's healthy, and my stomach has been hurting a lot. And I'm like, I'm putting a lot of popcorn in there.
You're like, what could it be? It's not all of the buttery microwave popcorn. It has to be
I
something
eat
else.
it like a rat, like a Cookie Monster, but it's popcorn. I can't share it with anyone. I have to have my own bowl because I will cut someone's hand off on accident just trying to get to. And I felt I was eating popcorn when I saw the popcorn lady in the Chair Company, and I felt so personally attacked. Sometimes I feel like Tim's just like watching my life.
I need to watch this show.
Yeah.
I really need to get into
Popcorn!
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. See, again, this is why I'm asked. I'm not supposed to talk about Tim
Girl, this is
Robinson
too
related
niche.
content.
Too niche.
I like
Okay,
popcorn.
wait. Now I'm going to tell you. I was doing an interview where I thought that the person was a fan of the show. I think I misunderstood them. And I did the bit from the show for a while. I told her I had autism. I try to lead with that, but
Same.
then I'm like, oh, did she think that was just my personality? Like I was just saying the things I was saying, these weird quotes from the
Right.
show.
I have that struggle too, where I'm like, do people get my humor? Because sometimes I think people really think I'm a genuine idiot. And I'm like, no, it's supposed to be funny. It's satire. But sometimes I don't think I convey it very well because people ask me, like, you really believe that? And I'm just like, you really think I'm that fucking stupid?
You have a really dry sense of humor as well.
Like in our episode, Aaliyah, your mom, was laughing because I said that I thought that John the Baptist, I go, do you think that was his last name? Like, was it a coincidence because he was baptizing people? Or like, did he get into baptisms because it happened to be his last name? And people are like, do you really think that? I'm like, no.
Oh, I do this. I have the same problem, Noe. To promote American God, I was pretending to run for president as like kind of a porn star, sort of. Because I'm like, okay, if you want to take away rights of AFAB people, let me give you a caricature here and like come for you a little bit. I thought it was very obvious that I was not earnestly running for president in the United States of America because I put so many jokes in I thought it was very obvious that I was not running for president.
Right.
Right. You put the Fright House instead of the White House, right? It's like
I did everything I could. I quoted Batman in my music industry resignation letter / presidential announcement.
But that's where we are in our country to where like that makes sense. That's how far we've gone.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
like
you
the
can't satirize anything anymore.
No,
Mm-mm.
because the whole thing
We
is
live in the
so
onion.
lunacy.
Because
Yeah.
Erika Kirk exists. You can't. My character didn't work because Erika Kirk exists and is a
Right.
real person and is not a caricature. And I didn't. I mean, I knew we were far gone. But I found out just how bad, and I lost a lot of followers who I think were actually just afraid I really liked America. Because I was using red, white, and blue stuff. I'm afraid they think that I'm like
"Oh, we lost
really into
her.
this country now. And I'm like,
She's
no.
MAGA now. What the fuck?"
So
Oh
And
my
then if you have
God.
to point out that it's a joke, then it's like it defeats the whole purpose. I'm like, it's a bit. It's a
I
bit.
was
I'm
trying to
smart.
do a
Okay,
bit.
please.
People are coming back now going, oh, okay. But that was scary to be like, oh my God. Like,
It's like, no,
Right.
we're doing it for the
Right.
bit.
and then I'm like, I
Yeah.
would make a better president though.
Right, for
No.
sure. I'd vote for you. Fuck.
Do you want to clear up the rumors that you love our country?
Hello, everyone. This is former presidential candidate Candi Carpenter. I have heard some hideous and heinous rumors recently that I love our country. I am here to address that is not, in fact, the case. This country is a garbage fire, and I am the demonic gremlin dancing in the middle of it, trying to put it out.
I just
Yes.
wanted to clear up the confusion. No one here loves America because that would be really
No.
embarrassing.
That would be it would be embarrassing. I bought like a backdrop, right? With American
a
Eagle
bit.
on it. Yeah, I thought that was funny. I was making fun of it. It was satire. It was a caricature. It was a political cartoon.
But the whole country is a political cartoon. We are living
I know.
in the political cartoon right now.
Thought when I was using a vibrator as a microphone in my announcement videos. I thought that when I wiped my ass with Donald Trump face toilet paper and flushed it down a toilet as well. But again, like that's just the kind of thing he would do and then post on X. Like,
Right.
yeah, you can't even, I don't know. If we can't mock our leaders as protest, like,
What can we do?
what do we,
What do we do?
if the folks on our side can't even tell that we're kidding, like, how do we do it? What do we do? I need a drink now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's the perfect segue for our game. What do you
Yes, we
think?
have a little
Yeah.
game before you go.
Okay,
Bible Madlibs.
let's go.
Alrighty. I need a noun.
I just want something good.
Yeah, just make
Let's
it
see.
gross or weird or just whatever speaks to you.
1 hour later.
Alrighty. Jonah and the whale. A long time ago, there was a Nephilim named Jonah. His job was to bring God's penises to the people. One day, God told Jonah to go to the Meridian Mall in Lansing, Michigan, and tell the people there to stop being slovenly sinners. Jonah didn't want to go, so he headed in the opposite direction, got on a Segway, and tried to ditch God. After a while, a huge storm started. The mushroom was blowing and the wallabies were crashing, and the crew was very afraid. Jonah knew that it was his fault, and he asked them to throw him into J.D. Vance's ego. They didn't want to, but things kept getting worse. So finally they agreed. Immediately, everything calmed down. Meanwhile, Jonah was sinking down into the sea, about to gallop. But God sent a big cow to swallow Jonah.
Oh.
Jonah spent 67 days in its taint, praying and thanking God for saving him. After a while, God commanded the creature to poop Jonah onto dry poop.
Oh.
Jonah went straight to the Meridian Mall in Lansing, Michigan, to tell people that God was merciful and would give them 69 chances, just as they had with him.
That's beautiful.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
My favorite part was when he's trying to escape God on the Segway because they don't go very fast. So he's just
In the opposite
right behind
direction,
me.
like,
No, God, get away.
That's an interesting experiment because it really made just about as much sense as the original story. Wow.
It's important for us to end on taints.
Taint. God's taint. God's taint be with you all.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being here. This was so great.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
me. It's really great to meet all of you.
Come back anytime if you want to talk about Gnosticism. We can do
Heck
a
yeah.
whole episode.
Yeah,
Let's go. I'm down.
Okay,
It'll be fun.
sweet.
sweet.
All right.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
Thank you so much, Candi.
God bless y'all. I'm praying for you. Bye.
I am saying I'm so glad I am. Glory, 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 glory to God.